Ignition sequence start. 6, 5,
One small step for man.
2, 1.
Everything is go here.
Welcome to Stay Relevant, my wandering conversations with interesting people. I'm Mike Savola.
Yeah, this is Houston. We're copying.
The Eagle has landed.
Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to another episode of Buddy's Magical Basement. Today, we have the most amazing guest all the way from the North Pole. Let's give a big Buddy welcome to Mrs. Santa Claus. She's gonna teach us all the true meaning of Christmas.
Hey, you can't say that anymore. You gotta say Happy Holidays.
That's a clip from Buddy's Magical Basement, a piece my current guest did a number of years ago. Actor, writer, impressionist, all-around performer, Dave Coyne. Welcome, Dave.
All around.
All around.
Now, does that to mean I perform all around, or I just have I have a lot to offer all around?
Yes. Yes, it does.
Both? Good,
Yes, it
good,
does.
good.
Means
All
you're well-rounded.
No, I see. These questions are vague enough to capture the essence of everything that is me. You could just say, Dave, why?
I want this to be like the actors inside the actor's studio.
I believe those folks get paid.
Oh, okay. I don't want it to be that much.
No.
So who is Dave Coyne?
Currently, Dave Coyne is enjoying a podcast with Mike Savola. But I guess I would classify myself as an actor, comedic actor, filmmaker with a knack for impressions or voices. Artist. I guess I'm the artist, formerly known as the other artist.
D.C. Loogie.
Yeah, D.C. Loogie is the internet persona. I guess that's right.
All right. Is that it? Yeah.
I think so. Which was born in 2006 when, right around the time the movie Snakes on a Plane came out. I kind of capitalized on that audience and thought, all right, I'll do a bunch of impressions. And that video launched me as an internet performer, and I kind of took it from there and built on it.
And you have a lot of followers. I mean, you're very
It
prolific YouTube.
It comes and goes. It comes and goes. You know, the other was the time I was kind of up there. And now, when that kind of stuff dwindles, you find out who your friends really are, kind of thing.
I mean, do you find this is just a lot, as it compared to like when you first started, a lot of competition? And I don't mean head to head. Oh, I got to beat Dave or whatever.
Right.
There's just everybody seems to be doing it.
Oh,
right?
definitely. Yeah, I guess I don't know if I was right on the dawn of YouTube and internet, but definitely on the cusp of when people were trying to get some recognition from it. I came in on that, and then I think it just got younger. I think YouTube just went to a younger audience. But yeah, a lot of people came after that with both impressions and comedic channels, and some folks are doing really well on there. And before, I guess, YouTube or Google offered the revenue program. That's when I was kind of at the peak of my subscribers. And then when they offered the revenue program, I didn't have as many.
Oh, so you weren't making as much money.
No, I actually never made
money.
Never really took advantage. The best thing I think that YouTube did for me was act as a virtual agent. Because when I took the initiative to just, instead of audition for other people's projects, to just put out, okay, this is what I do, this is what I think my strengths are, I got more response from people saying, oh, great, we've been looking for that, or we could use that. So that, in that way, it really worked for me.
Just like any other ordinary citizen, D.C. Loogie wakes up every day at 4:30 p.m., handcuffed to a dining room chair. Then it's off with the cuffs, a swig of Jim Beam, and off to the bathroom to drink from the toilet.
And I think I met you before the Snakes on a Plane. I was doing a show for Discovery, and you sent an audition tape. It was the picture was totally.
It was VHS. wasn't it?
I think it was VHS.
Was it VHS tape?
Yeah, it might have been. I think it was like 2005, 2004.
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that.
That is right.
But you sent this, and you had a picture of. It seemed totally inappropriate for the part. I wanted you to play a tech host.
I think it was
or tech
inappropriate for an actor to have that picture circulated in any way.
And you looked like 20 years older than you actually were at the time.
Right,
And
right.
you had like this T-shirt on with the sleeveless white T-shirt.
Yeah.
Kind of looking unshaven.
Yeah.
And I said, this guy, I make it a policy to watch everything I get for the most part.
But you'd been through, I guess, conventional-looking headshots, right? You've kind of been through that.
Well,
All right, these look like actors. These look like people who should be on TV. Last, but definitely,
we got to
possibly
look at
least.
this guy's not going to work. And it was the funniest thing I'd ever seen.
And it worked.
And it worked. You got the job. And
Yeah.
that's,
Which, that's what I've been, I guess, proclaiming all along, is that headshots are great and resumes are great, but I think the real is what really tells the person, is this guy capable of doing what we need him to do? Because a headshot I could actually get a decent headshot. But that wouldn't say a lot of, I can't.
Really?
No.
No.
Do you know any good photographers, like, miracle workers? But in a resume, I guess, says, all right, other people have trusted you and other people, aren't afraid of you. But until you actually see someone's work, I mean, isn't that right?
Well, also, I think, and what you're doing says a lot to this as well, and the way you've worked it, how you do it and what you put out there also mirrors who you are.
Yeah.
Because if you put out, whether it's a website or whether it's a reel or some kind of video or whatever, that's how you put that together tells a lot about who you are as well.
Right.
So if it's if it's straightforward and it's you looking at the camera saying this delivery, giving this straightforward, well, it tells me something about you.
Right.
I wouldn't consider you for anything else. But if it's something that's totally off the wall and it's this thing that's just out there, it tells me something else about you.
Right, right.
So,
yeah, I tend to try and even with auditions and those kinds of things, try and tailor them a bit and give them enough production value to where the viewers can really say, all right, I can see this. I can see this as a concept working. Because sometimes, it seems like, maybe this is bad to say as an actor, but I've had experiences with casting people who just simply will be, well, he's not wearing the right shoes. He doesn't seem to have the right whatever. And you think, well, all of that can be changed, but they need to see exactly what's coming off of the screen and how that's going to fit their project. Lack of imagination, maybe.
Yeah, that's true, and it depends on who you're who you're auditioning for.
Yeah, yeah.
Tell me about you were, you really do the impressions. You're known for Walken, Pesci, and Jack, of course, among other things.
Right.
And you're as good, if not better, than a lot of these people who have been on Saturday Night Live, for instance. We've talked about this. Have you ever thought about trying to make it, just going to New York, and why not? Why not? Just going and saying, I'm here, auditioning or something.
Right. Well, I did try and figure out how they scout, like where do they go to find people. And of course, there's a big group in LA, the Groundlings, an improv troupe. I think a lot of folks come from there. In the early days, I think Second City probably had people come on. And then they would just go to New York clubs, comedy clubs, and that. But yeah, I did consider it. In fact, I just had a conversation with a friend of mine, and because I am moving west in June, and he said, well, yeah, you've always thought about doing that. And he said, I think if you had gone, early
10 years earlier.
did the Groundlings, did the whole thing, you would have ended up on one of those shows. And I thought,
Too bad, Dave. Are you gonna have any children?
No.
Think about having children and maybe
then
bringing them up.
Right.
Living it through them.
That's why people have kids, right?
That's right.
Yeah, because they
Because
failed miserably.
Their lost dreams
Right.
are lived out through their children.
Crushed
Like Dance Moms.
dreams.
You ever watch that?
That's
what that is.
the one reality show I've missed.
Really? My daughter loves it. Well, anyway. Okay, so you
But,
do
but I would consider it. It's not saying I'm not open to that kind of thing. I'm just sort of in a different category now, I guess.
Don't let me mislead you. I have no connections at Saturday Night Live.
Oh,
okay.
it doesn't surprise me at all. You had me at I don't have connections.
So you're internet savvy. right?
Yeah,
Are you
okay.
technically savvy, or do you just kind of figured it out? I guess.
I definitely just figured it out.
Because you still have an AOL email account.
I do.
I didn't think that still existed.
It does.
So I mean,
Through me. I am the one guy.
the one guy. No, I know one
Yeah.
other guy. So there were two of you.
I need his number. Because for the longest
Me.
time, that was sort of my badge of honor. Was the only. There's another AOL guy.
There is. Yes, there is.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. But,
Well, Chris Walken doesn't have a cell phone, so granted, he's Christopher Walken Academy Award-winning guy. So I don't know if you want to sort of follow in a model like that and just, oh yeah, he doesn't have a cell phone, and he also takes a lot of medication. I'll start doing those things. But yeah, internet savvy, or even production savvy, all of that was learned. I mean, I think I had a knack for it. I think I have an eye for cinematography and even the rhythm of cutting. But figuring out all the tech stuff it's a challenge. It's something new. It was like earlier when you were trying to push the button here. It was 10 minutes, folks.
So was it? Do you think your career path has been? Did you think it out, or did it just sort of evolve? I mean, did you say, "Oh, I kind of want to do video. I want to do television"? Where did you start, and how did you end up here?
Well, before, I guess, taking advantage of the internet, I definitely was interested in film production and that kind of thing. It was just publicity and getting yourself exposed was just more conventional, and you had to make phone calls, and you had to. I don't even remember. Well, no, the audition for Tech Toys did come through the internet, yeah. So that was around then. So I, to some degree, honed some filmmaking skills. But when I saw that the internet was just such a huge audience and no middleman, it was just artist to audience thing, that just thrilled me. So I thought I gotta jump in on that. And when I then saw that I did have an audience for what I was doing, spinning from impressions and a movie that was already had an audience built in, just my own comedy, and thought, all right, I'm now going to just start doing sketches and skits just to see if it is kind of a flash in the pan. And it seemed like there was an audience for that kind of thing. So then people like Turner Broadcast and even Creative Artists, which is a big agency in LA, started to call and say, hey, are you serious? Can you do some of this stuff for us? And so I took advantage of it in that way.
And where do you go from here? I mean, so you kind of did the impressions. You've been doing the skits.
Yeah.
And people, you get all these comments like, oh, this, maybe people haven't seen you for a while, or have
Right.
never seen you. They're just seeing you for the first time. Like, oh, this guy's great. Oh my God, he should be on Saturday Night Live. He should be in Hollywood. He
Yeah.
should be here. He should be there.
Yeah.
But you're here in DC.
Well, there are a lot of shoulds, right? I mean, everybody has a should, but
So what's your
they
should?
never supplied the steps to do that. It's like, man, you should be healthier.
So that's the key.
Wow, you should be a happier person. See ya. It's like, okay, oh yeah. And I think everybody on YouTube trying to do what I'm trying to do knows that. And they do run off to LA and jump into that pool and spend years there, and some of them give up completely, and others say, nope, I'm going to keep going.
Yeah, but I think there are a lot of people kind of down at the bottom here, and I don't mean, really bad. I just think there are a lot of people just throwing stuff up there without thinking.
Yeah.
Just, videotaping their dog drinking water and putting it on the internet, and they think, oh, I'm going to be, you know what I mean? There are a lot of people doing that, but there are other people who are kind of up at your level. And I don't think there are a lot of people at your level who are doing like these. A lot of the things you've done are like really well thought out, and
Right.
and they're funny. They're just they have a beginning, middle, and end.
Right.
They tell a story of some sort.
Right.
And they're really good. So I think there's a big difference. When you say, oh, I think a lot of people try to do what I'm doing. Well, not quite to that level, I don't think. So,
Yeah. And I guess right, not in that capacity. But then I don't know. Is the one man thing, is that frightening to people? Because if you're used to, okay, we call this department, we got to get this department, we got this big department. Because I remember getting offers or potential offers for shows, and the question would come up: can you work with other people? Would you be okay if you're in on the concept and the writing, but other folks are shooting and directing and that kind of thing. And of course I would be, and I have done that. But if my specialty is from concept to full production, you know, I don't know that the same thing always carries. I mean, I've done local commercials or smaller projects where they'll say, hey, we love your videos, let's try and make that happen for our product, and then it doesn't come out that way, you know, because it goes through other steps and other people, and it's, well, this isn't a DC Loogie video, this is just Dave Coyne in another video or in a concept video. So
well,
ideally, I just need a lot of money so that I can produce my own show, kind of the way which Turner allowed me to do for 2 years. They said just do it.
Big Super Deluxe or
yeah,
and
then their website went away.
Yeah.
But that would be the ideal thing, right?
Well, I think the thing is they have to buy off on you as a package because it's not just you acting their script, it's you bringing the stuff from the recesses, the dark recesses of your demented mind.
Right,
I think. And
right,
that's
right,
kind
right.
of part of the package.
It is, but even the editing, even something as simple as editing. I mean, I could provide all the material and then it just goes through I don't know, a more corporate style editor who's very slick can lose the rhythm of the piece.
Yeah, yeah. So do you think? Did you have preparation to do this, to get you here? I mean, what's your background? I mean, do you have a visual background? Do you have training?
Just doing. Originally, it took a while actually to audition. I think I was 18 when I first got the nerve to even audition for a play, and then had the old VHS cameras and all that kind of thing, and just did it. Just kind of got out and learned by doing it. But it's funny you ask. You know, where am I? Where am I now, or what's happening now? I'm doing 30 minutes at a bar mitzvah tomorrow at a pizza joint. So that's kind of, and I haven't done a lot of
like a
stand-up. Yeah, stand-up. And I haven't done a lot, but I've done enough to where I thought, all right, I'll take this on. And I've written stuff. I have ideas.
Oh, good.
And you just, you know, oh, good. Because my first thought is, you know, a bar mitzvah, you've got an audience of 13-year-olds to, well, let's just say not 13-year-olds. So to find sort of that humorous sweet spot in that group is going to be quite interesting. So I'll let you know how that goes.
Yeah, but that's kind of your audience, the 13-year-old boy.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what? That's
so they'll be fine,
right? Yeah.
but they're not paying me, right?
That's
It's the parents and the relatives.
So you got to throw in a few for them, I guess. Wow.
Yeah.
So the whole social media thing. I mean, of course, Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah.
Those are part of it. What else do you do? And do you have like a plan with all that stuff? Or you
Well,
just
I haven't taken full advantage of that, and I'm not great at that. I mean, there are people who are just PR people, and they just know that in and out. They can get you on the front page of blah, blah, blah. So I don't know the ins and outs of that kind of thing, but to my advantage as much as I can, I'm using it.
It seems to be working for you, I guess.
Yeah, well, recently we've been doing just local commercials for small businesses with sort of a DC Loogie or at least humorous bent. So that's been going pretty well. But going out to the West Coast, I'm going to see what the opportunities are like out there.
That was my next question. You're going to the West Coast. You're going to San Francisco.
Yeah.
San Francisco proper or just Bay Area? Just right
Bay Area is what I've been told.
Okay.
I'm going there with my lovely gal, Laura. And she knows, she's familiar with that area.
She's from there?
She is indeed.
Yeah.
And she did 2 years on the East Coast, and we're gonna try it out there out west.
What are you expecting? What do you think's going to happen?
I don't really know. I mean, I guess even just being 45 minutes flight, or however on the train from LA, is advantageous, right? So I will look, and I know folks out there. I know folks who have jumped out there and got an agent and are doing okay. So I'm gonna, start washing their dishes and saying nice things about them.
Do you think it'll make you more creative to be surrounded by those kind of people? I think I find that if I'm surrounded by creative people, you're constantly, you don't fall into a rut.
Yeah.
Because you feel challenged. You feel not only challenged but refreshed.
Yeah. Because you feel like you're talking to people who speak your language to some degree.
And they understand what you're trying to do.
Right,
I think, right?
right.
You have this goal. This
Exactly.
grass ring.
And folks, I guess, have done it here, right? In
Sure.
this area. People, well, yourself, I guess, have have done it to that look.
Thank you, Dave.
Yeah, right. You can
pay you
edit
later,
You can
right?
edit in or out that. So yeah, if you really look, I mean, you can find it here. But I can't imagine that the Bay Area is going to be have less opportunities than Gaithersburg, Maryland, the entertainment hub of the East Coast. But so the fact that I have been able to at least get by here, I hope to do well there.
Do you have any regrets? Anything you'd do over again differently if you had the chance?
Well, regret is interesting because that's just a play thing, right? That's a psychological play thing. You can have as many regrets as you want, but what are you going to do? The time you're sort of spending on the regrets is also time wasted.
Well, maybe learn from them. Maybe learn something.
Oh, no, yeah, that's different.
Yeah.
Do you have any learned lessons and that kind of, oh, yeah, those kinds of things.
Lots of those.
I don't know about lots. Jeez. Oh, this right here. Yeah, I can tell you now. Tomorrow at the bar mitzvah, I'll be thinking about this, and I'll have learned a lesson. But again, when my buddy said, "Yeah, I think if you'd gone out there, earlier, you would have ended up on one of those shows," and there is no formula, so I don't think anybody knows. But I've always thought about, should I have done that, or by doing that, am I jumping into an area that's just fully saturated and, will you get lost? And with new media and the internet, I thought, well, why can't I just do it wherever I am and just kind of put it out there?
And I think, and we've kind of talked about it briefly before, and you kind of said that you're not necessarily looking for that, not really rat race, but that intensity of having to be on 24/7, having to always just push for it, where you've been successful here doing it your own way.
Yeah.
And if you go out, if you would have moved to New York, if you would have moved to LA, you would have had to do it somebody else's way, play by somebody else's rules more than maybe you've wanted to.
That might have been that and the idea of so many people there doing it might have been the two factors that kept me from. So I guess I'll see, in a way, going out now, because I am, to some degree, cutting ties here, although my really close friends will fly me back to do projects, won't they?
If I run into you, I'll ask them.
Yeah, so if you interview any of my close friends.
If I find any of your close friends.
You won't, they don't exist.
By the way, how's the Schoolhouse project coming? Is that still happening?
It is still
This
happening.
is just a
and
little
this is actually, this
little
is
background. Jonathan Zuck
Yep.
he bought a old schoolhouse. It just sounds such a good idea.
It is.
It's such a fun idea.
Right.
Tell me a teeny bit of background.
Well,
about
interestingly, this is the guy who I had the conversation about. If you'd gone 10, 15 years earlier, you would have been on one of the shows. He's kind of a day job guy who's always wanted to transition into a more creative way of living, I guess. And he's a filmmaker, and
done a few films.
he has, and he's a great photographer as well. So his vision, I guess, was to buy this huge space, turn it into a creative arts hub, a soundstage, a place to teach dance, even just fine arts, if people want to rent it to paint and that kind of thing. But ideally, I think a soundstage on the bottom floor where he could build sets and do web series and all that kind of thing, and live at the top. The top floor will have like 2 or 3 residential bedrooms, and then a communal kitchen, and the whole thing sounds like it could be its own reality show. So right now it's just in the...
You're still trying to work it out.
It's in the bureaucracy, I guess, of zoning and that kind of thing. But things are moving ahead, and it's just been a long process. But I hope he doesn't let that dream go, and I hope to see that would be one of the places I could come back to from the West Coast and could stay there. That would be my one close friend who would see me and use his frequent flyer
room in our
miles.
basement. If you ever need to move back, you can stay in our. There's no.
I'm not above basements.
There's no We have a sink, let's just say. We don't have a actual facility.
I'm still okay.
Okay. Well, anyway, Dave, thank you. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah,
Appreciate
this was
it.
nice. This was fun.
Good luck on the West Coast.
I will keep you posted.
Well, we'll call you.
Oh, I wasn't really going to keep you posted. When are you calling?
Thanks, Dave.
All right, man.
My guest today has been Dave Coyne, actor, writer, impressionist, filmmaker, musician, on the web at dcloogieworld.com. The podcast is Stay Relevant, wandering conversations with interesting people. Original music by Popmark Media, on the web at popmarkmedia.com. See and hear more on my website at mikesabola.com. Until next time, try and stay relevant.